Nithyananda guys! Welcome back to the Kundalini Yogini. I'm really excited to be back making a video this week. I took a few days off to kind of gather my thoughts and decide what was most important for me to share with you guys about. So, this week I'm kind of taking it back to some of the basics, and I feel like it's really important to make these type of videos because they're probably something I get most asked about on a daily basis, involving, the beginnings of a spiritual journey or spiritual seeking. And I wanted to get into this with you guys because a lot of the times I've been asked, and I've noticed that people get held up in the idea of not knowing where to start. And even if it's for their spiritual path or their path of kind of seeking alternative knowledge to what we're taught in school. And I really wanted to address this with you guys because I feel it's super important to kind of just give a little tips about how I did it and what made it easier for me to integrate it into my life, and how it kind of becomes a natural thing and it doesn't need to be this intimidating or isolating journey for you. So I'm going to share with you guys 6 ways you can kind of start your spiritual journey and kick off your path of seeking. Okay, number 1 is seeking, period. What do I mean by that? I mean learning, acquiring knowledge, and really it's a process of relearning everything that we've been taught about the world. I mean, this really sounds general, but it means, watching documentaries, reading a lot of books, watching, YouTube videos from, credible sources, credible people on topics that you maybe haven't, looked into before. And this might still seem broad to you, but seriously, it can be about so many things. But for me, for example, I started watching a lot of videos about spirituality in general, learning about Buddhism, Eastern religions, Hinduism, meditation, yoga, basics, crystals, energy centers, all this kind of stuff, which I didn't know about. And because I didn't know about it, I was judging it, honestly, out of ignorance. And only when I started to just at least educate myself at a basic level, I could understand and at least start to let that information sink inside of me. And it's not to say that that's right or wrong, but it's about having the whole picture in front of you. And I think it's so important because we don't learn about these things in school, and a lot of times we don't learn about them from our families either. It's so important to see, the other side of things, the other side of religion, the other sides of your political opinions, the other sides of spirituality that you might not have learned about before. So I really emphasize for you guys, watch as many documentaries as you can. Netflix has an amazing database of spiritual documentaries now. I mean, just to name a few, there's so many about health and wellness that I could recommend, so many about spirituality, and it's just start somewhere. All right, number 2 is one of my favorites, closest to my heart, which is journaling your gratitude. Now, this sounds kind of new agey, and I know if a lot of you guys who are subscribed to me would know I don't normally talk about these kind of things, but this is a practice which I don't think any spiritual path or religion could talk down on, because there's just too many benefits to it. And what I would do personally is I had a journal, and every night before I went to bed, I would write down 5 things I was grateful for that day. And you want to be as specific as possible. And in the beginning you might have to force it if you feel like you had a bad day or if you're in a rough time of life, but I'm telling you, it really starts to work. It puts you in such a beautiful space of gratitude for what you are experiencing day to day, and you start to notice really little things, and it really brings a lot of awareness and presence day to day. So you'll see that the more that you do it, really it brings so much into your life on a day-to-day basis, and it's such an easy thing to do. Number 3, morning routine. Now, I know a lot of people have tons of different morning routines that they follow and that empowers them. But I'll just share with you guys what I do because that's the only experience I can share authentically. So, for example, and why I feel morning routine is so important is because it's the start of your day. And when you start your day from a place of, self-awareness, self-love, bringing yourself into your body, getting rid of your anxiety and all these things and doing something for you, it changes the whole setup of your day, honestly. Like sometimes there'll be times where I would wake up with like anxiety or already feel like I just don't even want to get out of bed, and maybe some of you guys can relate to that. If you just make yourself get into your morning routine and start doing something to take care of yourself, taking action to take care of yourself, you'll see that right away those things start to dissolve and so much negativity will start to go away that just clears the space for you to have a really positive day. So my morning routine, and I've made a few other videos about this, is first I wake up and I do Kriyas, which is the yogic cleansing techniques. I have other videos on my channel. I'll link down below for the entire set of Kriyas. There's 3 main Kriyas that I do in the morning: enema, neti pot, and eye wash. That takes me about 15 minutes. Then I go and do my puja. Puja is a Hindu ritual of worship that basically connects you to the divine or to your guru. And so I do the practice of puja every single day, and it's a really, really beautiful part of my day where it's just kind of that time to be in a prayerful space and offer your gratitude to the divine. And then I go and do my practice of yoga. And lately I've been kind of combining yoga and fitness, but just carving out that time, whether you can make even 15 minutes if you feel you can't fit in more than that, or 30 minutes or an hour, do a physical practice where you're connecting with your body and you're taking care of your body, you're building your body and just giving yourself love in that way. The last part of my morning routine is, of course, watching satsang, which is a spiritual discourse given specifically by the ones that I follow are by my guru, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Shri Paramahamsa Nithyananda. Right over here, you can see a picture of him. And basically, this is what I do every day, even if it's just a 5-minute kind of video, but they're basically videos all about life, love, spirituality, just discourses that are really powerful spiritual truths. And when you also let those sink in as a kind of like your message of the day, I find it's such a beautiful way to start the day. Number 4 is yoga. Now, I know that I already mentioned that in the part of our morning routine, but if it's at any time, any part of your day, I just want to emphasize, no matter what spiritual path or religion you follow, yoga it's too powerful, guys. And I really am telling you, I would be the last person in the world to say that. I was somebody who was very physically lazy, and I really didn't really like being physical or challenging my body, and it just kind of made me feel self-conscious because I was never that good at athletic things. But once I really started to do yoga, I realized it is absolutely not about the physical. The physical is a benefit of it, but the inner peace, the stability, the strength that it brings inside of you, all of the lessons it teaches you in an active way is one of the greatest teachers of all time. I mean, yoga is probably the oldest spiritual tradition, one of the oldest spiritual traditions in the world. And when you do this as a spiritual practice, it connects you so much to that, whatever you connect to or call as that cosmic consciousness, that divine energy, that God that does reside inside of yourself. And if you struggle with meditation, like I know many of us do, it is a way to meditate without feeling like you're meditating. And it naturally silences your mind. Because you're in that flow space, you're getting really physical, it makes your mind shut up and it keeps you present in your body. And that is just so healing in and of itself. So I cannot emphasize enough, integrate yoga into your life and you will really see your spiritual path, your path start to evolve. All right. Almost done here, guys. Number 5 is meditation. Now, like I just said, meditation can be super challenging for mostly everyone. We're not used to living without the chatter of our thoughts or without some type of distraction like phone, TV, sounds, music, noise. That's the world we grew up in. But I want you to understand meditation is not just sitting in silence and meditating. That's probably one of the hardest ways you can meditate. What I would recommend for beginners is doing a walking meditation, doing a meditation at night before you go to sleep, or doing meditation that's almost always guided. It's really, there's so much free content available online now that you can follow. And for me, it's really hard for me to even sit in silence and meditate. But when I follow a guided meditation that focuses on the breath, And basically what I loved to do when I first started my spiritual journey was specifically search for that day the type of thing I needed. So for example, if I really was having anxiety, I would literally YouTube meditation for anxiety, and I would find such amazing content that I could just 10 minutes I could listen to, and it would really help me. And I would start downloading them on my my iPhone and all that, so I'd have it with me. And there's so many resources like this available. There's also a really amazing app called Headspace that does beginner meditations that kind of really walk you through it. It helps you focus in the breath, so it's really easy and you won't get as distracted, and then you'll see that it also brings so much awareness to your life. I personally don't really do generic meditations anymore. I usually either do pranayama, which is kind of yogic breathing or breath work, or I specifically follow a meditation of Swamiji, my guru, because that's what I've found is most powerful for me. My favorite of all time is the Nithyananda meditation, or the life bliss meditation. I'll link that down below also if you guys want to try it. It's a little long. It's about, I think, 40 minutes, 35 minutes, but it is ridiculously incredible, and it really focuses on bliss and awakening that bliss in you, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I would highly recommend it. All right, and our final tool for spiritual seeking is community. And what we call the term in Hinduism is Sangha. It means like a spiritual community. Who you surround yourself with matters, and I'm sure you guys have probably heard the phrase like, your vibe attracts your tribe and all this stuff, and you are the 5 people closest to you. It couldn't be more true. The people that we surround ourselves with are going to be our environment that grows us. And so finding people that are like-minded and that are interested in the things that you are and growing themselves also and open-minded to that is so essential. And the beautiful news I have for you guys is that no matter where you are in the world, you might feel like you're in a small town in the Midwest of the United States and not one person is thinking the same way as you, and you feel really alone. The beauty is we have the internet now, guys, and through YouTube and through Facebook groups and all these things, you can actually use them as tools to connect to other spiritual people. There's so too many groups out there, I'm telling you. You can literally search like for your city, Nashville, spiritual group, spiritual seekers on Facebook, and you'll actually see there's pages where people have already made, and you can find people that even might be close by you, where you can physically meet them also, but also have that community even online that's gonna uplift you and help you stay aligned to your path and just keep sharing their knowledge with you. And it's a beautiful, virtuous cycle of sharing that knowledge with one another. So those are my tips for how to start a spiritual journey and how to really kick off that change in your life you might be seeking, whatever you might be seeking to get out of it. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys, and please let me know if you have any more specific questions on this. I would love to share more on this topic with you guys, and if you have any video suggestions, of course, please comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that little bell, and join me on this journey of conscious living together. Thank you guys. I love you all so much. Nithyananda.